Welcome back, you filthy exiles. I started having a play around with the new Divine Eye skill, and I think I've done the math on this. I'm not 100% sure, but Divine Eye of Disintegration could be absolutely mental. Anyway, let's talk about this. So on the screen I've got, and excuse the bad resolution, but this is my Incinerate character and I'm on my laptop. But anyway, so if you don't know what Divine Ire is, it's this skill here, right? So you charge it up. It looks like, you're Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And then you're like, kablamo! And you put out like this huge beam. Now, in the vicinity of where this charge up's happening, basically this radius here, enemies get damaged. But with the new transmuted gems that are coming in, there's actually a bit of an interesting effect with that, where we're going to compare the base gems and basically have a look at the damage scaling potentially that might be differing from the base gem. And definitely this gem got a huge buff for this league. So just to preface this video too, not a league starter, wouldn't recommend as a league starter, way too complicated to scale up. But I thought it'd be a really cool idea to theory craft this as a just in case you wanted to go this route, you wanted to test this build, because I'm probably going to test it as my second build. But let's have a look and see what it looks like. Okay, so strap yourselves in. We're going to be looking at some mathematics here for once. But anyway, so I basically just sort of re-engineered my Incinerate tree because it was perfectly made for a channeling character, right? So I made a few adjustments to the tree. The obvious one being Divine Ire. That's, the first and foremost. We can't have a Divine Ire without Divine Ire. Beyond that, I basically switched out, changed crit damage into increased critical damage itself. So we do bigger crits, so 595%. Now, defensively, it's still over like 217k, but that can be improved with fixing cold res, and that's just a balancing thing. And by the way, this is a level 97 tree. Obviously, again, this isn't League Start, so don't play this on League Start. Completely untested. I just thought it was really cool because it's a Kamehameha build, and we can now play it because Divine Eye is fully buffed. But anyway, so basically all the same things. I switched out flammability for conductivity. Herald of Ash is still BIS, so basically Herald of Thunder and whatever does nothing. This actually gives us like 1.8 mil, so we stick with Herald of Ash. It's still really damn effective. So the tree as it currently gets with everything, and by the way, we do a few other things. So we switch out like our nodes up here and basically put in like high voltage, lightning mastery. So we get 2 mil from lightning mastery there. And then we also switch out some gems here and we run Overshock, Disorientating Display, and Thunderstruck. And these all give you huge damage numbers and just work perfectly. So, anywhere up to 1.1 million with Thunderstruck. Overshock, sorry. Now, wand-wise, I think I made, 1 plus to lightning spell gems because we want to run lightning spell gems. Boots, which I found had the best result, was Inna's Epiphany, because obviously we can't run Ralakesh anymore. So this gives us the highest potential to get power charges out of everything. And then Replica Dragon's Flight, like ignore the... I haven't adjusted the stats on the amulet itself around the reservation efficiency and whatnot. But plus 3 to all level of Divine Ire is what we're basically going for. Anyway, so with that melting pot, we have a channeling damage amount of 3.4 mil, and this is the 3.23 patched POB, which is okay. Like, that's a decent amount of damage in the vicinity of, enemies being around you. And then obviously on release, we have 10 stacks on release. So we charge up if we're on a boss and we can tank enough hits, hopefully with this, that we release a 7.8 million DPS hit. So we do tons of channeling damage and a big hit at the end. Now, for the investment in this build, that's not the biggest amount of damage. Like, we're talking like 80 div investment by the time you get this build up and running. However, what's really interesting is on the website when we start having a look at Disintegration. So basically, we've got Holy Lightning, which is cool. It hits a lot of enemies, and like that's respectable. But what we're really interested in is big Kamehameha blasts, like just absolute fuck off amounts of Kamehameha. So if we have a look, we see like the base damage stat deal 271 base to 406, right? Physical damage. The physical damage goes up by like a huge margin here, which comparative to the base gem that I actually weaned down. So basically, I looked at the base gem that I was running in here, and I basically de-leveled this down to level 10, right? So we get down to a level 20 gem, right, which is what the comparative is. And the base flat damage, physical damage, is 205 to 203 to 305 physical damage, right? And this is where our mathematics comes in. And I could be completely wrong. So basically, level 20 base, right, we know is 203 to 305. So we go back here, we up level this to 21, right? So basically we scale it up, it gets to level 31, so it goes to 619 to 929 physical damage, right? So basically we calculate a 305% shift up in the base damage of the gem once you get it to level 35, right? So we'll just zoom in here because we're doing numbers. All right, so we get 305%, right? So this is our recalc. This is our recalc. This is our movement increase up to level 31. All right, okay. So we go from there, and we can recalculate the baseline. So we know the baseline of disintegration is 394 with a max of 591, right? So then we have up to 31 scaled by 305%. It goes 1,201 to 1,800. So how does this accumulate into our total damage buff? Well, we go from 7.83 mil to 23.8 million DPS with Disintegrate with this setup. Because the trade-off is you're not doing that progressive, like, you know, channeling of it. So then you're going to scale based on your 10 stacks by however much that scales. But that's going to go up through the millions. So theoretically, you could do 23.8 million DPS if the base damage scaling is the way that the base damage scaling works currently with the base gem. That's basically my theory here, right? Now, I could be completely wrong with the way that additional damage calculates and whatever calculates. Moral of the story, we're going to have to play it to test it. I have no idea. And we're also not accommodating for the inclusion of any other secondary ascendancies, which are now in the POB down here. So obviously, you know, if we manage to get like frenzy charges, you know, that goes up by 2 mil, multiply that by 305%. Like, you know, we could hit anywhere up to like 30 mil potentially if this setup is correct and if the gem setups correct. I could be completely wrong, right? I have absolutely no idea. That's what the purpose of theory crafting is for. But what I'm sort of getting at is disintegration could be absolutely ridiculous. And this is on this setup. And like, there's no mage blood or whatever on this. But possibly Divine Ire could hit like a freaking truck. So yeah, anyway, I'll put this POB in the description. I'll put my number crunching in the description. And it's just a quick scratch pad sort of recalc of percentage shifts in increases in damage based on the damage scaling that I can observe here. Now, this is also assuming like that's first hit. So we've got like, you know, full hit. So you're going to lose damage on that. Obviously, power charges aren't too hard to sustain. You know, focus isn't necessarily going to be up all the time. Onslaught you can be pretty confident in, and I'm pretty sure you can get the charms that can give you permanent, almost permanent uptime on Onslaught, hopefully. And then basically, yeah, like Flask Active, Arcane Surge, well, yeah, that's built into the wand as well. So, you know, I've adjusted a few things in here. Obviously, you know, you got to have your curses up as well. This is assuming a lot of parameters are running. But the moral of the story, like, pardon me, your peak damage could very well hit. We don't have that either, so that might change it. But your peak damage could hit somewhere in the 20s. And like, even if you're hitting for like one hit 15 million DPS to 20 million DPS and you're tanky enough to take hits, this could be quite ridiculous. Like, I don't know. It's, you know, the other thing is like, you know, the increased level of shock. So if you have increased shock levels at 40% or whatever it might be, you know, there's a whole heap of things. The other thing that we could switch out is switch out gems here and try different combinations with like lightning pen and things like that. You know, that could push it up further. Anyway, if you're looking for a bit of an idea, then yeah, there's something that we could look at during the league. And just to reiterate, not a league starter. Gonna put that in the caption in the video too, and in the description, just to make sure that you're aware. Just simply theory crafting. Honestly, looks cool. Damage numbers, if we get anywhere near 23 million DPS with Divine Ire, I'm going to have a lot of fun. And also I'm going to be looking at Firestorm Comet as well, because I think that looks sick as well. But anyway, until next time, don't forget to like and sub to the video. And Hopefully come up with some more stupid theory crafting ideas in the next few days that potentially we could throw around and try. But yeah, these are the numbers that I've calculated, and I have no idea if I'm on the right track with the way that the way that PoE's damage scaling works. But if I'm anywhere near the vicinity of this scaling, then this build could be absolutely mental. Anyway, have a good one, and I'll see you guys later.